we're going to talk about Bayonetta 3, which has a score of 88 on the Nintendo Switch. Justin, are you picking up Bayonetta 3?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Day one. When does it come out?
Oh, Justin, you jest. October 28th.
Oh, wait a
3 days ago.
What? I mean,
Even longer for Hitbox Day. Yeah, so this has received pretty much universal praise. A lot of people are just talking, like, saying it's the best Platinum game. That the spectacle is excellent. The visuals are impressive. The combat system is still impressive. There's a good variety of in the gameplay and stuff like that. What do you think of this? I know that you are not a huge Bayonetta fan. I've never played them, but how do you take this?
I mean, this would be a good like topic one day to think about. Like, what's a video game that's rated a 10 that you just don't get? And when I know this isn't a 10, this is an 88, and that's the end all be all on Metacritic, as we've talked about. But like when I had no interest or knowing of what Bayonetta was, and then Bayonetta 2 came around, and that was scoring 10s. And like it was critically acclaimed, and I was like, all right, I gotta go and I gotta play this game. So I played Bayonetta 1, and I was like, whoa, this is not a 10. Like, this is just not my kind of game. And then I stopped playing it initially, and then I eventually came back and beat it on the Switch, and I was like, I am an older, more experienced gamer, and this is still just not my kind of thing. And then I started playing Bayonetta 2, and it's like, maybe it just jumped so much between the two, and it didn't. Like, I mean, a little bit, differences here and there, but like nothing that suddenly drew me in. Maybe after the first couple chapters it changes, but I just don't really enjoy this style of gameplay. And I think when I go back to thinking about Nier, I thought that Nier Automata was going to be this kind of gameplay, this kind of like over the top, weird, the story doesn't really matter kind of thing. And the thing that got me to go around on Nier was that the story's brilliant with how they tell it. This one, it just seems like it's a bunch of just like flashy things that they throw at you, and it just never really got me in with the combat. Never really made me want to upgrade everything. I just never like connected with these horrible American accented characters or I guess whatever accents they are. Like there's like I don't even know the name of like your handler that has this really bad like New York accent. It's like he's playing a bad version of My Cousin Vinny in like the first game, and it is just the most obnoxious thing ever. It's just not my kind of game at all. So am I gonna purchase Bayonetta 3? Probably, because I'm just a broken human being sometimes, but this is not something that I look at as being excited for. And I don't want to be like a negative person because I get people like this game. I just have never connected with it. Sure.
No, I think that's totally fair, right? Like, just because a lot of people seem to like it doesn't mean that it is something that you need to like. I have not picked this up. I kind of planned on doing it, and then it sort of slipped through the cracks in terms of like what I was doing for work. I was hoping to pick it up for work. It just didn't happen. And I don't have the time to devote to this. So I'm playing Nier Automata on the Switch, and that has sort of made me think like, oh, maybe I should try this because Platinum Games, But this seems to be a game where like, if you liked those first games, you are really going to connect with this. Where someone like you, if you didn't like those first games, like this is not going to be the place where you get on board with it,
Yeah, I think I was listening to a review of it, and they're basically like, yeah, the story is like, whatever, but like the gameplay's great. And I was like, well, you lost me. You lost me there.
Right. So there you go. 88 people seem to like it. I might try and pick it up before the year's out just to know what people are talking about for Game of the Year stuff. But it's November now. So we have 3 hours until November. So we'll sort of see with all of that. Though, last week we jinxed ourselves while we recorded. We were like, in 2 hours, we're going to find out that new information has come of this like whole Bayonetta voice actress sort of ordeal. And that straight up happened. So I'm sure everyone's tired of hearing about this at this point, but I imagine this will be the last we talk about it. But if you didn't know, the Bayonetta voice, the person who voiced Bayonetta in the past in the first two games, Helena Taylor, basically said that she was offered only $4,000 for a prize her role in the third game. She said that it was an offensive amount of money because she believes that she's owed more than that. And then Platinum Games sort of said, no, that's not true. There's some back and forth reporting, and now finally, Taylor has come out and said that the first offer that was made was far too low, and it was $10,000 total, not the $4,000 that she said. And then she came up and said, like, but you know, for a franchise that's $450 million, not counting merchandise, which journalists and reporters have sort of said, like, $450 million Bayonetta is as a franchise, like, for 3 video games and 3 video games alone, a little suspect. Basically, she came forward and said, like, that she was offered $10,000. She thought that was too low, so she wrote to Hideteki Kamiya, who is the executive producer for the Bayonetta series, saying that, like, I thought he would understand, and he basically said that they would offer her an additional $5,000. So, and then that she was basically like, not about it, and I guess that's it, right? Like, she's just trying to put this whole thing behind her. I would too if I got caught lying like this in a weird way. But I don't know. How do you feel about all that?
The internet's a crazy place. You got to watch what you say. And like, you know, I think at least when I first got on social media, at its heyday, because I'm so old. But when I first got in, I felt like a lot of it was just kind of like you and your friends. It was very like limited. But like now, when people are so attached to celebrities, and it's like social media is such an easy way to get like firsthand access to celebrities and what they think. What celebrities think is celebrities. I use that in quotes. What people think on the internet sometimes is like stupid stuff that they have no basis for, and they're just like having their opinions or a bad day, and they're saying these things to let off some steam, and then that gets picked up and becomes big news. Granted, with this case, she posts those things with the intention of having a lot of people see it. So it's not like this was just something she was just angry one day. She had it out for Bayonetta and is still having it out for Bayonetta. And I'm like, you gotta be better than this. Again, internet's a great place. I'm not saying it's not, but like there's responsibility that you have to have when you post stuff about like the truth and what is the truth and what is not the truth. And clearly this is a situation where I first was kind of defending it like this is probably her truth. No, this is clearly just she was unhappy with what happened, and she was angry and spiteful about it and wanted to hurt the company.
Yeah. And I think it's tough too to really even take her at her word at this point, because she followed up all of this by tweeting, "It has come to my attention that some people are calling me a liar and a gold digger. I feel the need to defend myself and my reputation in the industry." And then she tweeted about like what we just talked about. But like, unfortunately, Helena Taylor, yes, people are calling you a liar because you lied. And you lied in order to get people to sympathize with you and in order to hurt the performance of this game. And like, you may have been lowballed this offer, but like it's really unclear based on the fact that you have been like pretty consistently lying about all this stuff. And like, I want to listen to you. I want to hear you, and I want to like have these conversations, right, about paying voice actors more and whatnot. Because I think those conversations are really, really important. But like, Helena Taylor, you can't be like, I can't believe that people think I'm lying when all I've done so far is lie about this situation. You know, like it's so frustrating when it's like we want to hear this and we want to talk about this and we want to help you, but like, you gotta like give us an inch here, man. You know?
Yeah, so, I think people would be much more in her corner if she just started off by saying this is what I was offered and it wasn't enough for what the role was, so I didn't take it, and this is what they offer voice actors. Not a single person would be mad at her right now, I think. Well, I mean, it's internet, people would be mad at her, but like that changes the entire like scope of the argument. I still think people would be supportive of her. People would still say like, yeah, that's not enough, you should have got paid more, and that would have maybe still created some sort of buzz or whatever, and I think that would have been the better way to go about this story. But
agreed. Right, because if she led with saying, I was offered $10,000 to play this character, and then I wrote to them and they offered me an additional $5,000, like, and it's just, I couldn't do that for that little.
Yep.
It's the same story. Like, it's the same exact story. It's just the numbers are a little bit different, but I think it's still sympathetic, and I think it's still like, wow, that is shockingly low. Yeah. But the fact that she lied about it in the first place has just, I think she is of the opinion that she is being defamed by people calling her a liar, when I think that she has sort of done that to herself by lying about this stuff and just by being untruthful about it. But So there you go. Bayonetta 3.
And then we find out next weekend it was actually not $5,000 that was offered.
please
It was $5, but a lot of decimals.
Yeah, 8 million.
8 million, and she turned that one down. So
yeah, it's too low for the $450 million franchise plus merchandise.